Yeah, this is Suresh here. I am heading Apple Service and Tech team in Sniper. I have an experience of 10 years in handling Apple Enterprise client. First of all, I would like to thank you all for joining this Apple webinar by taking 45 minutes break from your work schedule, and happy to address you all. And I'll be the key presenter for this entire 45 minutes session. So let's get into the topic now. So agenda for the day will be I'll be taking you through Finder, Mission Control, Hot Corners, Spotlight, Quick Look, and how we can navigate in Mac without using any mouse. So these are the productivity tips which you can use it effectively on your work from home scenarios. So first we'll start with Finder. Finder is nothing but a default file manager which is available in Mac OS. So these are the topics I'll be covering in Finder. So like how we can show or hide all your external peripherals or internal hard disk which shows up in your desktop, and how we can customize your Finder sidebar and adding a shortcut like adding an application or folder to your toolbar in your Finder, and how you can change the way the files are displayed in Finder, and how you can find the exact path of a file or a folder in a Finder. Then how we can set a default Finder window. When you open a Finder, it should be mapped to a default window. How you can set it, and how you can quickly view your files in a preview panel in Finder. I'll take you through a demo. If you have an parallel, you can also try it. Parallelly, you can also try it. I'll be going very slow. Probably you can have a try in it. So Finder will be available in your dock. Dock will be in the bottom side. So this is the Finder. So just click on it. So when you get a new Mac, probably you cannot able to see this Macintosh ST, or when you connect any external peripherals like pen drive or Mac, it won't be visible there. So default it won't be enabled. So when you get a new Mac, or if it's not displaying there, so you have to go and manually you have to enable it. So just click on Finder, and next to the Apple icon you see an option called Finder. Click on it and you will get a preference. Click on the preferences. Then you will have many tabs here: general, tag, sidebar, and advanced. So click on general. So here you can see four options, right? So check whether all these options is enabled. So if this hard disk is not enabled, here you cannot able to see your internal hard disk here. So if I enable it, instantly it will show. And this is my external pen drive. I connected a pen drive. If I am unchecking it, it won't be displayed here. So whenever I connect a pen drive, it won't be displayed here. Every time I have to go to Finder and I have to choose my pen drive. So if you click it here, it will be default, it will be available here. And even if in your work scenario, you may be connected to some servers or any kind of thing for file transfer. So if you enable this one also, if you're connected to server, so server will be mapped directly here in your desktop. You don't need every time, you don't need to go to Finder and don't need to open it directly from here. You can open it. So how to enable it? Just click on Finder, and next to the Apple icon, you'll see a Finder tab. Click on it. Preferences. In the preferences, general tab. Under the general, you will have this option: enabling hard disk or external hard disk. So next will be like customizing your Finder sidebar. So here you can see few of the item is not showing. When you compare with your Mac, you will be having your music, pictures, and everything will be showing in your favorite bar. Here I have disabled it, because when it comes to work, I'm not going to store any music or any videos in my machine. So I want my Finder to be a little bit clean for my work environment. So just you can go to Finder, preferences. You can click on sidebars. So you'll get all the options here. So whichever preferences you like it, you can enable it. To click it, it will be enabled here automatically. If you don't want to see your home folder, pictures, music, and movies directly, if you uncheck it, it won't be displayed here. Similar kind of thing for like iCloud, your external hard disk. If you don't want to show any stuff, you can disable it directly. You can disable it. Only the limited items, if you want to listed here, you can do it. So just click on Finder, Preferences, Sidebar. So this we say it as a sidebar. So whatever option you are enabling here, it will be displayed there. So next we come to toolbar. So this part we say it as toolbar actually. So we can do a customization here. See, you can see here I have a folder, here I have an application, right? So for example, I'll be frequently accessing this folder and I'll be frequently accessing this application. So I want to have a quick access. So that's why I've created a shortcut here. To create a shortcut here, say for an example, just I want to create a shortcut of this keynote folder here. Just select that one, hold command and drag and drop it there. Just select this file, press your command button, then drag and drop it there. So if you want to remove, same kind of thing, select it, hold the command, then drag and drop outside, it will be removed from there. So even similar kind of thing, you can do it for an application also. Just hold command, press command, then drag and drop it to your toolbar, then it will be placed there. So whenever you're opening a Finder, the application will be there for your quick access. So if you don't want it, just hold the command button, then put it outside, then it gets disappeared. And even in some machine, you don't have this action, or you will have additional buttons here actually here. So this you can even customize this toolbar. So you have to go to view, customize, you can click on customize toolbar. So you will get an option. So if you want to add delete button to it, you can drag and you can drop it, you can add it. Or if you want to add an share button, you can add it. I don't want this to see this group button, I can remove it. And even here you can see it, right? This is the icon and it's showing the title of the icon. So if you don't want to, if you want to display only the icon, you can click it here. Only the icon will be displayed here. No text will be displayed. Or if you don't want to see the icons, only the text, you can change it here. If you click text, only the text will be appearing. So, but initial stage, you want to have a practice of it. So you can select icon and text. So both the things will be displayed here. You can add whatever tools you wanted, you can add it directly to it. And if you click done, it will be saved automatically. So if you want to customize this toolbar, view, customize toolbar, and you can add whatever tools you wanted to add it here, you can add it, or if you want to remove it, you can remove it. So next will be here, we have a option called preview panel in Finder. So you can see it, right? You can see this line. After that, when I clicking any of the file, it shows the preview of it. So in some Mac, it doesn't default, it's not turned on. First you have to turn it on. So you have to go to view, and here you will have option called, initially it will be like this, show preview. So if you click on it, then you will get a preview option. So what is the advantage of it is, without opening the file, you can have a preview of it. So here, this is an PDF document. So here I can scroll it and I can have a preview of it. Apart from it, I'm having an image file. So if I want to convert this image file, here I get an option called create PDF. So directly I can click create PDF, and directly that image is converted as an PDF without any converters. Without any additional PDF converter, it is created as an PDF. You can see. So just click on the image, and if the preview panel is enabled, so you can even rotate it, or you can create a PDF. You can convert that file as a PDF, or if you click on more, you will get an option called markup. So it gives an instant editing of your pictures or files. So what is the advantage here is, so when you want to mark or when you want to highlight any stuffs here, so you can go here and you can have an lens here. So if you want to mark any particular specific stuff, or if you want to zoom it and show it, just use this blue pointer to enlarge it and this green to zoom it. You can see it, right? If you want to highlight anything, just you can get this icon and you can zoom it and you can highlight it. And if you want to add any notes, you can add it. You can add it. You can add notes to it. And even if you want to draw any line, you can draw it. So when you click done, it will be saved automatically. So you no need to worry about it. It'll be saved automatically. You can see whatever things we have done it in markup, you can do it. And markup, you can use it for additional purpose also. Say for an example, this is an approval form. So just I'm clicking it and I'm doing markup. So here I have an option to add my signature to the document. So two types we can add a signature to a document. So using your mission trackpad, you can do a signature, or you can put your signature in a white paper and you can show in front of your camera and it captures your signature also. Say just I'm using my trackpad to put a signature. I'm clicking it. So just I'm putting a signature here. When I complete it, then I have to press any key. Then it is my signature is captured. If I click done, it will be stored automatically uh, in my preview preferences. So even I said, right, I can use my camera to capture an signature also. So I'm using my camera. So right now I'm using my phone. That's why it's showing like this. So if I properly put a sign in my paper and if I use it, I can import my signature also. Or if you're comfortable with trackpad, you can even do a signature in trackpad and you can add it to any of your PDF document or images for quick approval also. So you don't need to have any additional third-party software. You can use Mac inbuilt features to add your signature, or if you want to mark it, or if you want to highlight it, you can use it without any additional third-party applications. Then you may notice when I open Finder, it is opening in recents. Always it's opening in recents. But I want to open when I click my Finder, it always wants to open in my. It has to be mapped to my desktop, and all my desktop icons should be displayed here. So for it, just I'll click on Finder. I'll go to Preferences. Then I go to General. Here you can see an option called New Finder Window Shows. So whenever I open a Finder, which folder it has to be open, it has to show in the New Finder window. So I'm mapping it to desktop, or even if you want to map to any other folder, you can click on others and you can search inside your Mac and you can even map that folders also. But I am going to map my desktop. Just I have mapped my desktop. So whenever I open my Finder, it will be directly mapped to desktop. So based on your frequent used folders or frequent used some people, they'll be mapping I think someone is trying to annotate. So if if you want to map it to default, someone will like to map it directly to their application. So whenever they want to open any quick application, they will be mapping it to application folder. So when I open Finder directly, it will be mapped to your application folder. So you can do it by going to Finder, clicking Finder, Preferences. In General tab, you see an option called New Finder Windows Shows. So here you can choose. Then I was speaking about how we can find the path of your any particular folder or particular image. Say for an example, just if I want to know the path of it, here I have enabled it, so that's why it's showing the path. But if you want to enable, you have to go to View, Show Path. It will be like Show Path. So if you enable it, it will show the entire path of the file. For say for an example, in some point of time, if you want to map any particular thing, you need the exact location or exact path of the file or the folder to map it. So for example, if I'm clicking this, it will show the path here. It's Macintosh HD user, Apple desktop PDF and DEP. So just right click on DEP and you will get an option called copy DEP as a path name. So it doesn't copy that file, it copies the exact path name. So you don't need to type it manually. Just click on this DEP and click on copy path. And if you paste it, you will get the path, exact path of it. So you can place this path in anywhere. If you want to paste it in terminal, or if you want to map it to any of your servers or any file sharing folder, directly you can place this path of your file or your folder. Directly you can map it. You don't need to type it manually. Just select the file or folder. You'll have the path here. Just right click it, copy the path name, then paste it. That's it. So it'll be much easier. Instead of typing or instead of getting the entire path, searching and getting the entire path, directly you can right click it and you can copy it and you can paste it wherever you want it. So next will be the mission control. So mission control, it's nothing but an bird's view eye of all your open windows. So how to open mission control? Just there is a three way to open the mission control. So you can use your 3 fingers or 4 fingers. You can swipe down to up, swipe up in your trackpad to open the mission control, or you can use control plus up arrow to open the mission control. Or if you are using Apple Magic Mouse, just tap with your 2 fingers. 2 fingers, double tap on your Magic Mouse with your 2 fingers, and it opens a mission control. See, when I'm moving my 3 fingers swiping up, so here you can able to see desktops, right? So this is mission control. And if you go to right extreme, top right extreme, you will have option to add an additional desktop. So like this you can add additional 15 desktops. So like this you can add additional 15 desktops, and for each desktop you can have a different wallpaper. Say for an example, desktop 2, 3 and 4 as in all the desktops has a similar wallpaper. Just I'm clicking on desktop 3. I'll go to system preferences. I'll go to desktop and screensavers, and I can change the wallpaper of it. So how to go to mission control? You can use command control up arrow or 3 fingers swipe up. So you will get the mission control. So what is the advantage of it? Say for an example, I am creating one documentation. So I need a reference from an browser. So I'm opening a web browser. So I'm having a notes. So if I want to take reference and if I want to write it every time, I have to click on Safari. I have to take, I have to copy it, and I have to use Command Tab, or I can use Mission Control to show all the application in this window. I can, every time I want to switch it and I want to paste it. Instead of that, what I can do is trigger the control, Mission Control. Just click and drag the application to another window. Just simple. Click and drag. That's it. Just click and drag. It will go to another window. Say for an example, if I am in first desktop, use your 3 fingers, move from right to left, 4 fingers. So it will, you can see it here. Say if I move it, it will move from desktop to desktop. So left to right, it moves to the second or first desktop. So you can move in such a way. So even it works in full screen. Say for an example, I'm taking some reference from Apple side. Just I'm copying it. Just I'll swipe my fingers. It'll come to notes. I'll paste it. Just I'll come here. I'll take some reference, copy it. Just I'll come here. Then I'll paste it. That's it. Previously, we'll be doing like this. So we'll be having it. We'll be using Command Tab to shift it, or we'll use Mission Control like this to shift it, to move between the application. But instead of that, you can use multiple desktop. Another advantage will be you can use full desktop version also. So when you're using two application, when you're switching it, will be much harder. You can use full screen option, and you can swap between the application easily using your trackpad. You can use it easily. You can swap between the desktops. And moreover, when I go to desktop, you can see a X mark, right? So when I click it, it will close only the desktop. It doesn't close that application. Say for an example, I have my presentation here on this desktop 3. So I'm trying to close it. When I trying to close it, automatically it shifts to the previous desktop. It doesn't close the application. You can see. So when I trying to close the desktop 2, I have Safari in it. So automatically that Safari is moved to the previous one. So it doesn't close the application, only it closes only the desktop. So even Mission Control can be used. Say for an example, I have 4 different application. When I want to quickly open, when I want to quickly switch to other application, even I can use this Mission Control. So it shows whatever application I have it in the same desktop. I can switch it like this also. Instantly I can switch it. So to open Mission Control, you can use your 3 or 4 fingers, swipe up in your trackpad, or you can use Control up arrow, or if you are using Magic Mouse, Apple Magic Mouse, then double tap on the surface of Magic Mouse with your 2 fingers. It triggers the Mission Control. So you can have additional 15 desktops. It supports up to 15 desktop. So next will be your hot corners. So hot corners is nothing but a each of the 4 corners of your screen uh, screen you can screen will allow you to quickly access a certain functionality which is built in inside the system. So for say for an example, if you're moving your mouse pointers to any of the corner, you can trigger some of the functionality which is built in the system. So for the settings, you have to you can navigate by with two different places. So you can choose Apple icon, you can go to system preferences. So here you can go to desktops and screensavers, and you can go to screensavers, and here you have the option for hot corners. Another will be like you can go to Mission Control, and here also you will have the same hot corner settings. So 2 ways: Apple icon, system preferences, So desktop or screensavers or mission control. So if you go to desktop and screensavers, you have to go to screensaver tab. Then you will have option called hot corners. So here it shows, right, corners, which are the corners you want to do a setting. So when I want to when I push my mouse pointer to the extreme top extreme left corner, what should happen? So I want to launch my mission control. Then when I go to an extreme bottom, then it should launchpad. So I'm keeping these two settings. So when I go to the extreme left corner, automatically it launches my launchpad. So instead of clicking this launchpad or anything, when I'm working it, it's much easier for me to just pull my pointer to the extreme corner. So when I pull my pointer to the extreme top corner, then I'll get the mission control. Previously, we were using our 3 fingers or control up arrow to trigger the mission control. So now just simply I'm taking it there, then I got the mission control option. So you, based on your convenience, you can configure all the 4 corners actually. So generally, in this work from scenario, probably what you can do is you can use these lock screen features. So when you're in your work environment, suddenly if you want to get up from your place, generally we don't have a practice of doing putting the visions in lock or sleep. So what you can do is you can put it in lock screen. Then when you move the pointer to the extreme, then it extreme which corner you are setting. Then if you move the pointer to the particular corner, then your screen get locks completely. Then when you try to activate it, it will ask for your passcode. So you can choose whatever settings you wanted based on your requirement and based on your usage. Even you can configure all the 4 corners. Generally, notification we use it here. So when you go to the extreme right, we'll get a notification, and lock screen we'll be using with an extreme right corners, and launchpad will be the left. So based on your requirement, you can use it. So that setting will be available in Apple icon, system preferences. So in desktop, under screensaver, you will have that hot corners option. Otherwise, you can go to mission control, hot corners. You will have this option to trigger hot corners. So next will be Spotlight search. Spotlight search is nothing but a system-wide search. So using the search, you can find application, you can find documents, you can find other sort of files. Even I use it for dictionary purpose. I use lot to find meaning of words, and even to check whether also you can use the spotlight. So how to trigger spotlight? So there are 2 ways. So here you can see a lens icon light. So you can go and you can click it. This is spotlight, or you can use command space. If you hit command with space, then you get the spotlight options. So for an example, when I say Chennai weather, so it gets the forecast of the directly, it redirects to my weather page. One moment. Or if I want to open any application, so directly I can type it here. It pulls off the application directly. When I click it, it opens the application also. So we can use it for a calculation also. For calculation purpose also, we can use it. You can put a calculation. Then after putting the calculation, if you want to do more complicated, then click return. Directly it opens the calculator. Otherwise, if you want to see a conversion rate, directly you can see it. Or if you want to do it more, just after typing the 100 USD, just click on it, directly takes you to the conversion page. And say for an example, so we have a practice whenever we create any document at an instance we'll store it in a place. We thought then after 2 or 3 days we'll forgot where we have stored it and what's the document name of it. It'll be a much more headache for us to search the document. Say for an example, so I have created a document for Mac shortcut. So I know the some headings or the content which is available inside the document. I am not sure about the name of the document or location of the document. Say I am copying this John at Sniper India and I'm pasting it in Spotlight. So directly even it searches in that files also. So directly it searches John at Sniper India inside the file also. Even I can get that file. And say for an example, without opening that file, right side I can have a preview of that file also. Say for example, when we are creating any some technical document, we will have different version of document, but we used to save it in the same name itself. So every time we cannot open all the document and we cannot verify it. So in Spotlight we will have a preview of it in the right side itself. So click on this, then you can have a preview here itself. Even I use it for a dictionary also. So you can see it, right? Definition. I get definition of quarantine also. So you can use it as a dictionary also. Or even if you have configured email, if you have configured emailed in Apple Mails, probably if you want to search any emails or if you want to search any document which is inside email, you can type the document name or the document content directly. It pulls from the email also. So you can see it here. If I type quarantine, it shows the definition. It's as a suggestion from Siri Knowledge, and I have a document which is contained with quarantine thing, and I have seen some newses related to it. And these are the website I searched it, and that website has some contains word like quarantine. So if I don't want to show this kind of thing, even I can do a settings for it. So just go to Apple icon, system preferences, and you will have option called Spotlight. Here you can see it. So if your Spotlight doesn't want to search any applications, say for an example, I am typing Safari. Now it's showing applications, right? But if I disable it, it doesn't search in application. If I just click on, if I type Safari here, it doesn't search Safari. And bookmarks, calculator, say previously I was saying, right, we can use it for calculator purpose. See now here, when I remove calculator, it doesn't calculate it. So if I enable it, then in Spotlight, I can use it as an instant calculator also, I can use it. So these are the settings. Generally, we don't search fonts, we don't search events and reminders, and system preference we don't search it. So we can whatever things if you wanted to make your search, because my machine is loaded with limited number of files, that's why it's getting a quick search option. So if you have a more file, then it will take a little bit of time, there won't be a much delay. But when you uncheck it unwanted preferences search, then it will be much easier for you to get the information quickly. So whatever stuffs you don't need to search it, you can uncheck it from here. So just click on Apple icon, system preferences, then Spotlight. So we'll get all these options. And even in Spotlight, I can just type PDF files. So it'll pull all my PDF files. So I can see all my PDF files here actually. Or if I type Keynote files, it'll show all my presentation files. So it shows all my presentations files. So I can have an easy access or easy search. So we use Spotlight day in day out to open application, like instead of clicking it here or going into the application folder, directly we type it here and we'll open it. We use it for calculation purpose. We use it for calculation purpose, and for dollar conversion we use it, and to search any file we use Spotlight actually. So you can use command space. Command space is the shortcut to open the Spotlight. So next will be like quick look. So probably quick look can be triggered just simply by selecting the file and hitting the spacebar. Say for an example, I have a video here. I don't know what video it is, but if I want to see it, I have to open it within any player. Then I have to see it, right? But without opening it, just I can select it. When I hit on spacebar, I can have a preview of it. So without opening that file, I can have a preview of it. If it's a video file, I have an option to trim it without any third-party application. Just here you can see the trimming option, right? Just click on trim, so you'll get an option. So directly here I can trim it. Just if I click done, it'll ask for save, whether you want to save it as a new clip or you want to replace the entire clip. So you can choose it. You can save it as a new clip. So instantly it gets saved actually. So you can see it here, right? Though this is the trimmed video. And when it comes to PDF, just click on the file, just hit your space bar. Then you can have a preview of it. Without opening that PDF file, you can have a preview of it. Even it works with your images. Want to have a preview of it, just tap, and if you have multiple images or multiple PDF file, just move on with your pointers. Then it will show all the previews which is available. Say for an example, um, even it works with presentation files also. So I can have a preview without opening it. I can have a quick click of it. So it works with PDF file, images, presentation, Word document, and when it comes to video and audio, it supports only if it's a video or audio file is .mov, .mp4, or .mp3 or mpeg or AV or WAV file. Only you can have a preview of it. If it's an MKV file, you cannot have a preview like this. It doesn't support MKV file to have a preview of it. And when you're doing preview also, say for an example, when you're doing preview, here also you'll get an option for markup. So directly you can trigger your markup here, and you can start doing your annotations, or if you want to highlight anything. So generally we use this mostly in services. If you want to highlight any damages or water spill, generally we'll zoom like this and we'll mark it, and we'll send it to users actually. So you can use it or for approval purpose, or if you want to mark, or if you want to highlight anything, you can do it. So you can mark and you can send it to the instantly. You can send it. You don't need to have any third party application to do it. So once it is click on done, it will be saved. You can see. So if you want to preview it, just click on it, hit tab, then you will have a preview of it. So without opening that file, you can have a look, and if you're sure that's the file, then you can open that file. Say for an example, I have two ACE file actually. I'm not sure which one is. Just click on. I'm clicking preview and I'm checking it. And without opening, I came to know this is the exact file. This is in some edited file which I don't need. So I can directly open this file. So preview works on PDF, Word document, presentation, videos, as well as audio. So next will be navigating without mouse. So before starting, you need to know all these symbols, because whenever you click on any buttons here, they'll be mentioned with symbols only. So first is like shift, second is command, and third is letters, normal letters. So here you can see the copy. This is option, command, then C. So yeah, wherever you click on Mac, you will see all these familiar icons. So first you need to familiar about, if this icon, then it's command. If this icon, then it's an option or alt. Then if it's this icon, then it's an control or control. It's a control. This is nothing but function key. Function key they'll be mentioning as Fn. And shift probably we'll be using mostly command, shift, option, control. These are the four combination we'll be mostly using in all Mac shortcuts or anything. We'll be using these primarily. We will be using only these four keys. So I was speaking about Finder, right? So every time I was going here and I'm clicking that Finder, but instantly if you hit option, command, space, it will trigger, it will open your Finder actually. So option, command, space. So to open your Finder instantly without clicking the Finder icon, you can, if you press option, command, and space simultaneously, then it opens your Finder. Then if a Finder is opened, or if a Safari is open, if you want to open a new additional tab, then you can click on command N. So command N opens additional new tab actually, new tab or new window. So command N is for opening a new window. And if you're say for an example, if you're navigating into multiple folders, if you want to come back, then command plus open bracket, and if you want to go forward, command close bracket. So command plus open and close bracket to move it backward as well as forward. So if you go to here also, they'll be mentioning it backward, forward here. Then to closing a tab, say for an example, I am opening these pages. So to close these pages, I have a two option actually. So command W as well as command Q. So what's the difference is, if I press command W, it closes only the window or tab. Still you can see a dot here, right? The dot represents still that application is running in the background. So if I click, then it opens instantly. So when I click command W, it closes only the window or tab. When it's open, when I click command Q, it closes the entire application. You can see the dot disappears. So to close the entire application, can click command Q, or if you want to close only the specific windows or tab, you don't want to close the application, you can click command W. Then when in Safari, if you are working with multiple tabs actually, when you're working with multiple tabs, if you want to switch between these tabs using your keyboard, then you can use command shift open bracket as well as close bracket. Open bracket for your switching between your previous switching between your previous open bracket is for previous tab, and close bracket is for selecting the next tab. So you can switch between your tabs. Command shift open bracket or close bracket to switch between your applications. Then when you want to access these address bar, so we have a shortcut key for that also. Function control F2. So when you press function control F2, directly it starts with your, see, I have kept my mouse here. Just when I click control function control F2, then it highlights in Apple symbol. Then you can navigate around your any of your menu bar. You can directly navigate it. So function control F2 to access your menu bar. To access your menu bar, function control F2. And if you want to access your dock here, if you want to access your dock with keyboard, then function control F3. Here you can see it, right? Now the photo has been highlighted. I can move it. I'm moving through my arrow keys now, left and right arrow keys. So function control F3. If you want to navigate anything, if you want to navigate or access your dock, function control F3. So you can choose. Then if you want to take a screenshot, we have 3 options in it actually. So if you press command shift 3, it takes screenshot of your entire screen. So you can see, right? It takes screenshot of your entire screen. So if you click command shift 4, then you can select a particular portions. Command shift 4. And say if you are working on a particular application, if you want to create a document of that application, what you can do is you can click shift command 4, then spacebar. So you can choose. If you want to choose this application, you can choose it. Only that application will be screenshotted. Just a moment. I think some update, I have to do some update. So if you click shift command 4 plus space bar. So if you want to take only screenshot of this Safari only. So if you click it command shift 4 then space, you can take a screenshot of this particular application or particular tab. You can take it. And finally, when you want to edit any file here, directly you can select this. For example, click on that file, and if you click return key, then you will get an option to edit this file, edit the file name. Just click on it plus return key, then you will get an option to edit the file name. And many people ask in my presentation, I was using this Apple symbol. Whenever I take presentation, many people ask, how do you get this? This is it's an icon or it's a character. Actually, it's a character. You can get this character by pressing shift option K. So in some machines, you will be getting a dot kind of thing. Here you're not getting an Apple symbol, right? So what you have to do is you have to go to system preferences. You have to go to language and make sure you have added, sorry, you have to go to keyboard and make sure you are added the US keyboard. If you added US keyboard only, then you will be getting that option. So I'll change US keyboard here. So if I shift option K, then I'll get the Apple symbol. So I see lots of Q&A in comment section. I'll start to address it one by one. So someone is asking for remote desktop, right? Remote, right? Remote desktop, right? Yeah, remote you can use any third party application like VNC Connect and you can do it. Or if you are using JAMF MDM tool or any MDM tool, you can take remote using that MDM tool. Someone is asking, can you download Microsoft application for remote control? What application? Can you name the application name?
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Actually, my question you did not answered. I think
Yeah,
how can we check that firewall in MacBook Pro firewall status?
firewall set, firewall settings or status.
Yes, yes. Firewall status, and it's checking whether it is connected in public, private, or whether it is connected in domain. How can we check?
Uh, you have a, if you go to system preferences
Yes.
and security and privacy, you have a firewall settings there actually.
Okay.
So you can enable all your firewall settings there actually.
Okay.
And if you want to if you want to do a binding of your domain,
Okay.
you can go to user system. If you go to system preferences,
Okay.
users and groups. Wait, I'll share my screen. So if you go to system preferences, users and groups,
Uh,
so just unlock here. Then if you click on login options, here you will have an option to bind your AD.
okay. Okay. Understood.
Here you can bind your AD. So once if you have bind it, all your policies and everything certificate, you can push it from your AD.
Okay.
Here you can do active, but first time when you're joining, we recommend you to try with uh, LAN connection.
Okay.
So someone is asking for yeah, this application can be remote desktop. Microsoft remote desktop can be used actually. And Rahul is asking for how we can get operating system of Mac. So in latest Catalina, we don't have an CDs or image kind of concept. So it has to be connected to internet, and through internet recovery only you can able to download all the latest OS. If you want to install OS, it has to be through internet recovery. How to add other users in Mac? Yeah, I said right. You can go to system preferences and you can do it. So if you go to system preferences, users and groups, so login option here, you have to join bind your AD. Once it is bind, you will get your domain name here with an green light. Then here you can change with username and password here. Instead of list of user, it'll show an option. Manually you have to type your username and password. So you can type your AD credential. Once it is binded here, directly at the login page, you can type your domain username as well as password, and you can log in it. Oh, someone has Deepak has asked how to shift between multiple screens. Shift between multiple screen, you can use mission control. So say, so you can use mission control. So if you have multiple desktops, so when you're working, use your three fingers, swipe from left to right or right to left. Any other queries?
Hello, sir.
Someone has asked how to add iCloud Drive to
Hi, John.
desktop. So first you have to sign in with your Apple ID. If you sign in with Apple ID or iCloud, you can go to Finder, Preferences, and Sidebar, and here you will have an iCloud Drive option. So just if you want to add iCloud Drive,
Suresh, your
you
screen
can't find.
add actually.
So iCloud Drive, just click on it. It will be available in your sidebar. Just preferences. You can enable your iCloud Drive, so it will be available in your sidebar.
Hi, John. Hello.
Any other queries?
Hi, John.
Yeah, tell me.
Regarding that Catalina, we have updated the OS for Catalina,
Okay.
but in 2 to 3 laptops. Means nearly we are using so many laptops from Mac in our organization. But when we use most of the laptops for Catalina, that Wi-Fi is not working. When we downgrade the OS, at the time only it will go. May know what is the issue? It is from
Sir, that we have to sit and we have to resolve, sir, because I need to check your AP configuration, what type of AP you are using, and it depends upon the AP settings and everything, sir. So we need to run some test, so we can take it offline. Probably I'll share my email ID. Probably you can send an email from your company email ID, so we can take it to the next level. We'll have a test. Then we'll come to a conclusion, sir. Because everything. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
I'm on another question.
Yeah.
That is, when so many laptops we are using, when we're using that temporary data is means it is getting full nearly 30 to 40 GB.
Okay.
But in that system we are using Outlook.
Okay.
When we configure the Outlook backend, it is taking nearly 30 GB. But the Outlook side data size also is more.
Okay.
How can we clear that temporary and all? Any third-party tool or there? No means have any other options?
Yeah, third-party tool also there. Or if you go to at any point of time, you can go to about this Mac, and you can go to storage, and you can click on manage, and here you get all the data, sir. So here you can see so how much and all the files are catching up and everything. Or even you can do a pre-RAM reset.
Sorry?
You can do a pre-RAM reset, sir. Pre-RAM reset.
Okay.
Just I'll show it.
Okay.
So for clearing cache, you can do this pre-RAM reset. When you're turning on your machine, just hold Command Option letter P and letter R simultaneously till your machine boots up for 3 times. Once if you turn on the power, hold Command Option letter P letter R till your machine gets booted 3 times.
Okay. This won't interrupt any data, na? The data won't get...
No, it won't interrupt any. No, it won't.
Okay, thank you.
And someone is asked for task manager. Yeah, it's in activity monitor. So you can, in Spotlight, you can type activity monitor. Or you can go to Launchpad. In others, it will be there, activity monitor. So you can see whichever application is accessing more of your RAM or memory or CPU or GPU, you can have a look here itself. Any other questions?
Hi, just a quick question
Yeah.
on the TextPad side. You know, in Macs we have TextEdit, but it is not as great as TextPad in Windows or Edit Plus.
Yeah.
Do you
Yes.
have any great tool? You can suggest any other tools like similar to that TextPad?
That I'll check and I'll let you know, because now they have changed many things in TextPad actually. Previously, we can able to do some playlist editing also, but now in Catalina you cannot do it. I'll get back to you on this regarding the tools. Probably you can drop your email ID so that I can send you the appropriate tool.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you guys, and at any point of time, if you have any query, or if you want to query related to commercial, you can reach Mr. Akshay. His ID is Akshay at Sniper India, or you can reach me for any technical query or for any service support related to Apple devices. You can reach me at suresh at sniperindia.com. You can drop me an email, and the session has been recorded, and recorded link will be shared by end of the week. So you no need to worry about. Even I'll be sharing this presentation as well as shortcut key PDF to you. You'll be receiving it to your email ID tomorrow. Probably you make sure you check your junk or even your spam folders. Sometimes it get landed in junk or spam folders, because sometimes the PDF file is size is higher. So probably when it hits your official email ID, sometimes it moves to junk folder. So make sure we'll be sending the PDF by tomorrow, and the recorded session by Saturday or Sunday. So probably you can make a note of our contact details, and you can, related to commercial, you can get in touch with Akshay. If you have any technical queries, or if you want to test Apple devices in your environment, you can get in touch with me.
Thanks, Suresh. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, team.
Thank you.